In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 law of attraction truths that I wish I knew earlier. If I would have known these earlier, I would have saved so much time and I would have achieved my goals easier than ever. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 commonly understood law of attraction mindsets of the way we go about attracting what we want. I'm going to be showing you how it is completely outdated and how it only works from a certain, you could say, level of consciousness, and how when we shift that perspective, everything in our life can change. And how also when we shift that perspective, things become so much easier. Because in the very beginning of my YouTube channel, when I first started making daily videos, the main thing that I would promote was massive action, which did get me massive results. However, the reason it got me massive results is because I loved what I was doing. Even though I was working full-time at the time, I was working at Barney's New York selling women's shoes. I was also working 40 hours a week there, and I was also working about 25 to 30 hours a week making daily videos because I made myself a choice. This is what I'm going to do, make daily videos. I did that and I got results. So I was like massive action. However, the things I learned along the process has totally changed everything because while I still do what I love, obviously I'm making videos still, do daily videos. I woke up this morning and it's the first thing I do every day, but it's also what I love to do. But many times in my past, I look at my past and there's been times that I would do and take massive action doing things consistently, but if I wasn't passionate about it, it wasn't sustainable. Not only was it not sustainable, but it's almost like things would happen to show me, hey, buddy, this ain't the thing to be doing. This isn't what is actually going to get you results. So it's about being in tune with that higher energy stream, understanding that when we're doing what we're passionate about, we are in a higher vibrational state. When we're in a higher vibrational state, we manifest things easier than ever. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you those 3 things I've learned in the last year and a half of taking massive action, and also things that I found that have made everything so much easier. Now, the first thing that most people that teach the LOA will tell you, and the thing that you'll learn, especially from the old school law of attraction books, I remember this is something that was in the book Think and Grow Rich, which I think still is a great book. However, there's this understanding that when you transcend it, it changes absolutely everything. And it is this understanding, the first one is about the idea of desire. Most people believe that desire is the best thing. Desire is what gets you results. But all desire does is if it's transferred into intention, then it's powerful. I'll explain that in a minute. But the moment we say, I really want something, is the moment we vibrationally say, I really don't currently have that something. So it's about being aware of the vibrational resonance, because we always get in life a reflection of what we believe and a reflection of our vibration. So that's always reflected back to us. Now, are we resonating with the vibration of the reality we want if we say, I really desire it? Well, the version of us that is already experiencing the reality we want, they already have that which we want, so they don't have to desire it. So the key is seeing it from a new perspective, because I've realized this in my own life. The more I needily want something, the further away that thing goes. Because wanting and needing is an energy of desperation. And it is also an energy that retracts whatever is in its field. So this is about being aware of the different levels of manifestation when it comes to where are we currently at? Because there are times that desire can be a somewhat good thing, because desire will many times will call forth upon you to then see what do you want so you can become clear on your focus. But if you remain in that desire, you will remain in that lack vibration, and no matter how much action you take, it's coming from a place of desperation. Now the key is some people, what happens is unconsciously, they have a desire, they're going about their stuff, they create resistance, but then eventually they let go of the outcome. When they let go of the outcome, they let go of the resistance, and then all of a sudden it flows through, and they say, yes, you see, the desire got me the result. But really, the desire got them to ask for it, got them to focus on it, then they created resistance, and then what happened is eventually they let it go, and then it came through. You ever see that where somebody maybe wants to attract a relationship, they really, really want it, and they're really, really thinking about it, and it doesn't happen, but the moment they go do something, they forget about it. It's like they're just having fun with their friends, and then all of a sudden, it just pops into their life. It's because they've desired it, but then they've let it go. They've forgot about it, or they've gotten to something else, and it changed their vibration. This is about more so understanding desire. Think about it in the form instead of vibrational resonance. That transformed my life because now I see things more in the form of not how can I just desire something, but how can I transfer that desire into intention. This is where the power is. I've shared this before with some of the other concepts that I share on the channel like reality transurfing, but there's this idea of if I have a desire to put up my hand right now, the desire to put up my hand does absolutely nothing because I haven't actually transferred that desire into an intention. Now you could say, well, a desire is a good thing because then what you could do is you could desire it and then you could actually intend for it. You could actually do it. So the difference is that right there. It's just making that shift from desire into intention. Many people may have desires. They may say, hey, I want to have a Lamborghini. Hey, I want to do this. I want to be that person. You can desire it all you want, but unless you say, I intend, and then you back that up with being, you back that up with the vibrational resonance, it doesn't actually happen. Think of everything in the world as vibrational resonance, and the key is knowing that the version of you that already has that which you want to experience, that already exists, the key is putting yourself in that vibrational state by knowing that you can develop a perspective that your cup is already full. You don't have to want something, therefore lack something. This is a game changer when you begin to apply it because you see that desire isn't necessarily always the key like it always has been shown in the old school law of attraction teachings. Now, from a certain paradigm, from a paradigm of complete unfocusedness, from a paradigm of lower vibrational states of being attached to the thoughts, it can eventually pull you out of there over a lot of resistance and struggle. But there's a higher level way of doing it. And the higher level way of doing it is by knowing you're already whole and complete and then vibrationally resonating with that reality that you want. You bypass all that resistance and you allow things to happen easier than ever. But the logical mind wants to understand everything. How am I linearly going to explain or do all of this? Let go of linear thinking. Let go of needing things to happen in a certain sequence. Allow things to happen by taking action, by having a clear outcome of what you want, and then trusting to come in. If we have a certain perspective, a blueprint for how everything has to happen, we limit ourselves because there could be many different ways. If you want to attract something into your life, if you want to attract a person into your life, for example, maybe you set the intention, you go out, you put yourself in certain situations where that could likely happen. Maybe you go to yoga, you go do something of where that person would be, the kind of person that you'd want to attract. Maybe you go do that, but maybe then somebody comes up to you and says, hey, you want to go to this place over here? And you're like, nope, I don't want to go do that. I'm too focused on trying to get this person into my life. But if you were to go with that person, maybe that would lead you, if you were to trust the process, that would lead you going out somewhere else, maybe lead you to that person. You see, but the logical mind wants to understand everything. This is something that's also very strong through a lot of Eastern philosophy. Letting go of the outcome. Understanding that desire is not the key. It is more so being. It's almost like thinking is the desire. Think. Instead, be. Be present to the moment because in that spaciousness you allow a lot in. So that's something that I think is so cool because it bridges the two worlds of the Western idea of understanding goals to that of the Eastern philosophy of not being attached to the outcome. Now, the second thing that I wish I knew earlier when it comes to law of attraction is that it's not about the focus. Focus is important, but more so than what we're focused on than thinking, I want this. We don't always get in life that which we want, which is the desires, because what we want we say we don't currently have, but we always get a reflection of what we believe to be true. This, in my opinion, is one of the most powerful things, that if you begin to get to the core of what you believe, you change everything. Now, the truth is this one isn't the most sexy thing. I've made many videos before on how beliefs create reality, but it's not like they get the most views on YouTube. It's not the thing you'll hear a lot of people talk about. However, it is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful ways we can go about changing our life is changing our core beliefs. Changing what we believe to be true. Because we can want, all we want, a Lamborghini, but if we don't believe that Lamborghini can come into our life, or we don't know or aren't resonating in the frequency of it by adding value to other people or creating that level of abundance, then it won't happen. We have to believe that it is possible for it to happen. Remember that old school Henry Ford quote? Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. It's just a matter of perspective and choice. But in general, get to the core of what you believe to be true and everything in your life will change. Now, there's a couple simple ways of going about this. And this is something I've done in many different layers of my life, different areas of my life, and different layers I've let go of many beliefs. Because I used to have a belief that I wasn't worthy because of my childhood kind of being brought up the way that I was. And then I was able to, after I broke out of that experience, then as years later, I still had to work through it and still had to become aware of those patterns. And I remember not feeling worthy, not feeling like I deserved a lot. I had to become aware of these patterns. I had to observe them, and then I had to let them go and see that they were outdated. You see, what happens many times is when we were younger, something happens, and when something happens, we give it a certain meaning, and then we carry that meaning with us sometimes our whole entire life. Sometimes somebody will be 30 years old, 20 years old, whatever it is, but carrying around the beliefs and the perspectives of when he was or she was 6 years old, when the parent said to go do this, or some traumatic experience where the parents got divorced. Then he automatically said, the parents got divorced because of me. I'm not worthy. This is the effect I have on people. And then subconsciously carrying that around, or this is what happens when people are around me, or whatever it is. So you see, it's about being aware of those beliefs, because unless you're aware of the beliefs, you can't actually change them. They're just on autopilot. Here's the thing too. Most people are on autopilot, completely on autopilot. They're playing out scripts. I remember when I had my old 9-to-5 job, every day I'd go in, it'd be like the same conversations. I'd get up every day, I would brush my teeth the same way. I would then go and do the same type of things, eat the same type of thing for breakfast. Then I would go to work and have the same conversations, help different people, but have similar type experiences, and then go do something else. It was all sequence and all on autopilot. The key is waking up from the autopilot, waking up from the beliefs that we have and being aware of them, because in the light of awareness is where everything changes. So to change your beliefs is actually very simple. And it's almost so simple that some people go, it must be more complicated than that, but it doesn't have to be. You become aware of your beliefs. That's always the first step. Become aware of what you're thinking, become aware of what you believe to be true, and you could just simply ask the question, what would I have to believe is true to be having this kind of experience? When you ask that question, the brain will start to look for the answers, and you'll start to see patterns of what that is. What would I have to believe is true to be having this negative experience, this negative emotion? All the emotions come from beliefs. We must first believe something to be true to have any type of emotion. And maybe some emotions are more on autopilot. Maybe naturally we feel love for certain people easier than others. But when it comes to life situations, the idea of a rainy day, for example, whether we feel positive or negative emotion to that will depend upon our beliefs about it and our prior reference experiences about it. So this is about understanding, what do you believe to be true? Well, if you're feeling negative resistance about in relations, maybe you say, I always attract the same type of person. This is a common one. Man, this guy always treats me bad. This girl is always this way. I always attract this type of person. Well, the key to this is ask yourself the question, what would I have to believe is true to be having this kind of experience over and over again? And then you can ask yourself another question, what experience in my past is what caused the ripple of this belief? And it may be, well, my first girlfriend or boyfriend was this way. And they were this way, and then I interpreted this meaning. I have to believe that I wasn't worthy. I have to believe that they were the only ones that could make me happy. I have to believe that now I'm looking for that person in other places because of the heartbreak or whatever it is. So you see, you start to become aware of these, you start to see, and then you see that what you're becoming aware of was a perspective of the old version of you that no longer resonates. The old version of you that is outdated. The moment you identify that it's outdated, and the moment you're aware of it is the moment you can let it go. You make a choice then to just let it go. Thank you. It served me for a period of time. I'm now aware of my beliefs. Thank you. I let it go. It's that simple. That's how you change any belief. You simply become aware of what the belief is. You ask and find the root of the belief, which means you say, what would I have to believe is true, or what is the reference experience this comes from? You'll start to get a sign of what that is. Maybe it takes a day or two. You'll start to get a sign of what that is. You say, oh, thank you. That belief was trying to keep me safe. That belief was something that's now outdated. I now choose to let you go. And as you let it go, you then transform your life, because then that pattern is no longer being carried around with you. So if I would have known this earlier, I would have created so much more easily, because I wouldn't have been doing it from a place of lack, and I wouldn't have been doing it from a place of believability, of believing I wasn't worthy, or I'd just been getting more to the core. Your beliefs create your reality. You will always get a reflection of what you believe to be true. If you change your beliefs, you change your life. That simple, and it is so, so powerful. Now, the third thing that I wish I knew earlier when it comes to the law of attraction is simply that of state of being. This is so underemphasized, but nonetheless, it's one of the most powerful things. Because another thing that we experience in our life is a reflection of how we feel. So if we are in a less good state, everything that we see outside of us is going to be a reflection of that. They have that saying, wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, in whatever state you're in, you're going to look around and find more and more evidence of that. Now the thing is when it comes to your state of being, you will always experience opportunities and situations that are equal to that state of being. So for example, you feel an amazing state of being. You will also experience more people that are of a similar nature. You will experience more people and situations that mirror that back to you. I remember I used to have a sales commission job before I was doing YouTube full time, over a year ago. And when I had this job, what I was doing is I'd go in every day. It was a purely sales commission job. I didn't get paid an hourly. I would go into work every day. And what I would do is I would be able to see an intimate correlation between what I think and what I experience for the day. Because if I had a really good day, it was right there in front of me. If I sold $5,000 for that day, that means I'd make about $500 because it's about 10% commission. So the idea is I could go into work every day and see how well I did based on my mindset, based on my beliefs, based on what I thought about the day. Now here is the cool thing. If I simply chose to focus more on my state of being, on feeling better, everything aligned anyways. You see, it's a funny idea, but this is what I would do. I would actually go into work. I worked in Barney's, New York, selling women's shoes, which means I was helping people buy $1,200 pair of shoes, $800 pair of shoes, people that are buying expensive shoes. And normally you think, oh, you got to be a professional around these people. I wasn't like that. I like to just have fun. I like to just kind of joke around a lot. I was known at work for somebody that was just always pulling pranks or doing stupid stuff, because I like to just lighten the mood. And it got me in trouble sometimes, but it was also a lot of fun. And here's what I noticed though. The more I focused on my goals, I got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, the more serious I was about it, the less well I would do. But the more I went in and I simply had fun, the more I focused on increasing my own state of being and then just being that and just having fun, the more things would work out for me anyways. Because this is the thing I realized. If I would have fun, I'd get people into a fun state because it's contagious, and they're more likely to buy because then they're in a buying state. Buying is an emotion. People buy based on emotions. So by just being in a good state, all these opportunities would open up to me, and it was simply because I was changing my state of being. So we normally think, oh, it's about the goal setting, it's about this, it's about that. No, it's about your state of being. How are you feeling? You can apply this to almost anything. You want to be more attractive to someone else? Then simply change your state of being and then go out. You will be more attractive. Change how you feel. Loosen up. Don't take life so seriously. And as you do that, everything in your life will begin to change, because you always get a reflection in life of how you feel. Just like you always get in life a reflection of what you believe to be true. How you feel is going to be something that you always see experiences that are equal to that. So it's something that can be primed with time, and it's something that you gain momentum with. But the more you focus on feeling good, the more you focus on feeling good for the sake of feeling good, the more you will experience more reasons to feel good. Like the saying is, as you go, there you are. As you feel in a great state of being, so will everything around you be a mere reflection of that. Everything is a reflection of the inside. So change your state of being. You change these three things, it will change your life. I wish that I knew all of these earlier in my life. If I would have known that my beliefs create my reality, that's more about getting to the core of what I believe to be true. If I would have known that desire actually blocked that of me experiencing what I want. What I could instead do is set intentions and transfer that desire into intentions. And if I simply knew that by doing that it would transform my life, plus that of changing my state of being, everything in my life would be different right now. Now, I'm grateful for what I've been through because now I can help you go through the same type of thing, and I can help you understand it can be easier than you think. But nonetheless, this is something that you learn with time, something that I've learned through experience, not reading this in a book. This is something I just simply learned as I went through. I had a sales commission job for like 8 years, so I saw every day as when I went in with a certain perspective, what I would get out of it, when I would hit my goals, when I wouldn't hit my goals, what kind of energy state was necessary. It was like an experiment every single day of me using the law of attraction. And I found out what works is state of being, beliefs, and intention. So that's where the power is. That's what you can begin to apply. That's what will change your life. Now, if you want, I have a free guided meditation that will help you to raise your vibration, because when you raise your vibration, you manifest things easier than ever because you're in a higher vibrational state. That meditation is absolutely free. You're going to see it in the top of the description box below. I recommend you listen for 21 days to get the maximum benefit out of it. Also, I'm going to be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you want to ask me questions, you want to engage with me and interact, I'm going to go and put my Instagram right there. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification here so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.